Hi, Niharika. It is a pleasure to have you on our podcast today. Thank you so much for being our guest of the SmartCast.
It's
Your,
great to be here.
your achievements are simply stellar and fantastic.
Thank you.
Now, to jump right into what the viewers are here for. Did you anticipate such fabulous grades? And what was your initial reaction?
Well, none of us knew what to expect for our grades for IB this year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Our board exams were cancelled, which actually had up to 80% of the weightage in our final grades. So since we did not write those exams and IB did not tell us what models they were using to calculate our grades, we were all in the dark. So I was very surprised when I heard of my score. I was clearly overwhelmed and I did not see it coming because anything could have happened really. I could have secured a 45, or I could have secured a 35, or I could have secured a 25. There were no expectations whatsoever. But I was really, really happy that um, even though IB really messed up the results with a lot of other people, I was lucky enough to have gotten the grades that I really wanted. So I was very grateful.
Mhm. That must have been nerve-wracking. Listening to all your achievements, our listeners would like to know your secret ingredients for such an impeccable score.
I think that really for at least for IB or any curriculum really, working hard is really, really important. So for me, I knew that if I worked hard consistently and over a period of time, I would end up getting the results that I wanted. Um, so, for example, the way I would study was a bit different from how most people would study. Most people would really like make notes and revise, right? Revise the notes before the exams. But for me, I went into a full detail one day before the exam. I would go through the entire textbook again. And as unrealistic as it is, it really helped me like retain the finer details and finer points of the content-based subjects that I took. So, well, really, there's not a lot of secrets. Just you need to keep working hard and you need to consistently work hard. And I think that pays off at the end.
Okay. During our previous sessions with school toppers, we realized that everyone has different set of strengths and weaknesses. Can you share how you did leverage your strengths and overcome your weaknesses?
Okay. I think I really, throughout IB, my strength was being extremely planned. I organized all of my work, all of my tasks well in advance. I planned out right before like about a month and a half before any exams, I would make a schedule for myself and allocate the amount of time that I required to study each of the subjects and make like a strict timetable for myself, which I would also follow. So my strength here that I would leverage would be my organizational skills, but that did come with like my weaknesses because I don't know where to draw the line. I really I overdo it, and often I hear that it's more important to work smart than work hard. So I feel like I'm not able to work very smart, so I sort of overcompensate by working hard. So I think the only way that I could overcome my inability to stop after a certain given point in time was if I planned it out. So really my strength and my weakness like complemented each other and it worked out at the end.
I see. It is hard to find balance between both academics and extracurricular, but you've excelled in both. How do you do this, Niharika?
To me, my extracurricular activities are extremely important. I think a lot of activities that people tend to take part in, they do it for like their college portfolios, and they do it because they think that it will help them look good in front of other people. But for me, my extracurricular activities were just things that I really enjoyed doing. So um, the activities that I took part in really just made me happy. So it wasn't a chore to participate in all of them. It was something that I did out of like sheer willingness. So I think the way to balance the two of them, I don't think it was very, very difficult because in the IB, there is a particular thing called CAS. So they want you to participate in a lot of different things. And that sort of worked out. But I think, for example, when I was organizing GIIS in 2019, that was very difficult for me to manage because peak preparation time for GIS MUN coincided with my peak preparation time for my final semester, final examinations for IB01. So I think it was quite difficult to manage. I was up until like 3 a.m. trying to figure out both of them. But at the end of the day, as long as you balance your time and plan out in advance, as I said, I think it all works out eventually, because IB wants you to do a lot of different things. So if you look for the time, you will be able to find it.
Okay, that's good to hear. An area most of us struggle in is managing stress while preparing for our exams. Did you feel it, and what inspired you to keep going?
I think if you don't feel stressed while doing IB, you're definitely doing something wrong. All of us were so stressed almost all the time, but it all worked out for the best. I think there's no fixed way to deal with stress. Everyone deals with it differently. For me, I would either like throw myself into my studies some more, even though that was very unhealthy, or I would sort of take a break, go out, meet my friends, walk around for a while, do some exercise, because exercise like really helps you clear out your mind. I spoke to my friends who watch some shows or something on Netflix. I think it's important to disconnect when you're feeling really stressed out. What inspired me to keep going was really just knowing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I knew that if I just stuck through this, if I persevered through, I would come to a point like I am where I am at today, where I'd be happy with my results, where I'd be satisfied, and I'll be going to the university of my choice. So knowing that there is a result at the end of it really helps you keep going and just disconnect and relax and then get back to it and work twice as hard. And I think that helps all of us manage stress very well.
That is really inspiring. Our listener friends would like to get a sneak peek on your future plans. Do you mind sharing?
Sure. So I am going to study law. I am still, I feel that I'm feeling offers from 5 universities. I'm still picking between National University of Singapore and the London School of Economics. I think both of them will take me to very different places in my life. So it's a choice that I want to make consciously and fully aware of everything that follows. So I will either be in Singapore for the next 4 years, or I'll be in London for the next 3. Stay tuned to find out. I can't really say much right now.
Well, we wish you all the best for your future plans. Lastly, on behalf of all of us in GIIS, can you give us some valuable advice and tips on how to prepare for our upcoming exams?
Okay. So I think this, because I did CBSE and then I did IB, so I think what I'm going to say would really apply to everyone across the board. When we're in our board giving years, so like 10th grade and 12th grade, we tend to focus entirely on our boards and we forget the importance of like the school-based examinations. So all the CTs and semesters that you have, we tend to like diminish their importance because they don't contribute to our final grade. But I think while they may not contribute to your final marks, they do contribute to your final preparation. One thing that I really focused on throughout IB was making sure that I did my best and prepared to the best of my abilities for all of the school-based examinations as well. This was obviously extremely stressful because we already had a lot of other coursework to do as well. But I think it helps because you're more prepared and you find out all of your like, if there are any gaps in understanding, any errors and mistakes. It really helps you sort of bridge that gap slowly so that by the time board exams come around, you're not too stressed. You don't have to sit and do all the past papers in just 1 month. You've done past papers over the entire year and you're not very stressed out. I think it really helps with your preparation to focus on school-based exams. And I think that's something people really neglect. So I think my only tip would be do what the school tells you to do sometimes and just work hard and go for it.
That is really great advice. Well, Niharika, thank you so much for being here. It was so inspiring and motivating to listen to you. Your achievements awe us all. For all our listener friends out there, hope you took enough notes and captured all these secrets that Niharika has shared with us. So it is for us now to use these methods and become a star just like her.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
With that, we come to the end of today's Smartcast. Please subscribe, share, like, and comment below. Follow us on SoundCloud/GIIS SmartCast. Do feel free to send us your suggestions for our future podcast. Thank you so much for listening to GIIS SmartCast. Signing off, Pramithi Ashok Anand. Goodbye.